Good morning, folks. It is the True Vapor Show number 109. Yes, 109. Well, we're running just a few minutes late because Mr. Mooch is having a few technical difficulties, so he's probably going to be popping in here just shortly. I hope so. If he does keep having this problem, we might have to just reschedule this for a little later, but he is having a little technical difficulties right now. So with that being said, I've got all these other folks to get announced in, so take it away, Mark.
You sure you want me to go first?
I feel this is me and your thing, so I always want you to be the first one to start us off. So why don't you take it away?
All right, here we go.
All right.
All right, so the Boxer 2X 700. This is the mesh RDA on top of there. I got the VGod Elite with the reload on top of there. Laissimo, I don't know what the hell it's called, but it's got 4 batteries in it. And I got the UL Valerian on top. Don't know the name of it again, but it's a squonk box made of stab wood with Mr. Mikey Vapes' icon on top. And a little smoke stick device that I think I'll be reviewing today. Juice, good question. Got some looper, got some, what is this called again? Sugar Lips, is it called?
Yeah. No, it's Blue Pucker. But
Blue Pucker made by Sugar Lips and Tony B. There we go.
Yes.
Vapetasia, Killer Custard Strawberry, and a little bottle of, this shit's really good. The you got E-Juice, the Lucky Charm cereal. I don't want them to send me, big bottles or anything. And that's it. Thank you. Take it away.
All right. Quick and simple today. I am on the double barrel with the Goon. And actually, I wanted to say the double barrel because I just received this. The Peacemaker 2. It is an RDA that Mr. Eric builds himself, but I didn't get built in time, so I wasn't going to sit here and do like Brian and act like I was, vaping on it. But last but not least, Boxer 2700 with the Olmec RTA. And I'm also doing some Blue Pucker and some loaded. And I don't know where I've stuck my bottle because I got so much shit sitting in front of me. But, I'll do this then. Do. Is that how you do it, Mark?
There you go.
So there's my loaded. But, all right. Yeah. So Mooch was going to be on here and kind of going through a few things, and hopefully he'll be here shortly. Like I said, he's experiencing little problems. We didn't believe that the Matrix was true, but we've just realized it is true because I was kind of hypnotized by it there for a second, the way he was talking with us. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but oh well, all good.
Hold on, I gotta show this screenshot of of Mooch's camera. This is the most weirdest shit I've ever seen before. It looks like an oil painting. Let me see. Screen share. There we go. This is what Mooch's camera was looking like. It looks like a water painting.
Yep.
Pretty cool looking. But yeah, there we go.
Yep. So that's unless y'all wanted to watch that for the entire time, which I don't know if y'all would like to or not, but you could feel like you're in another world there for a while. But
that's pretty trippy.
So what's going on with you today? This fine morning, this fine quiet morning.
I'm not sure. We're just hanging out, watching videos, and doing absolutely nothing. When I technically should be doing something, but wasn't doing much.
Well, quick announcement. I'm not one. I know I was going to tell everybody that I had probably a time I was going to do the show. I have not exactly nailed this down yet, but I do start a new time zone for me, for my work, at least anyway, starting tomorrow, which means my evenings are going to be free for a while. The time zone we are talking about will be Central, of course, but it looks like I'm thinking more on the lines of next Tuesday at 7 o'clock in the evening. Don't hold me to it. I should know, I hope, by Sunday evening. I'll announce it on Mark's show. But I feel like that's going to be the best and about the only time I can get in there to dedicate something for the next however long I've got to do this shift. So I hope that's cool with everybody. That's just about the only way I can do it without stepping on folks' toes. All right, so we're going to try this again.
What's up, guys?
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Nothing like old technology.
There we go. All right, so what's going on with you, brother, other than being in the Matrix a little bit?
Yeah, I'm dying to see the screen capture, whatever this fool thing was doing. You wait 3 years to upgrade a piece of hardware, and then it on you immediately. So the joy. And the iPad thing is supposed to be this like one-touch, wonderful experience. The cloud is there with the backup, and everything just goes. And that's what it was. It's been flawless. And then when I need it most, it's been a zoo. It's been
I don't think Apple likes Google. So that's why I think they're kind of in competition. So when you try to use Google app on an iPad, they won't allow it.
Built-in gremlins. On there, believe me, it could be. But yeah, I'm on the older one now, and so that would be cool. Things have been kind of crazy here. Work is swinging up and down. Been trying to figure out, what do I want to do or not do. In terms of like the testing and stuff I do for the community, with taking it full time, but that's a term for it. And so special projects that are like on again, off again, maybe this, ooh, what about that? Oh, 27-page document, contract. Okay, I'll look at that and da-da-da-da. Every once in a while I vape.
Damn, you're getting into Mark's territory.
Yeah.
So what you vaping on, brother?
Ooh. Yeah, actually, time for me to settle in here. I have got the back to Dominican past couple days. I kind of miss this guy. I still love this thing. Original goon on top, and then inside, Yeti Coils. Yeti was kind enough to send me a care package. Wow. Okay, I've seen some nice coils before. Those are the cleanest coils I've ever seen. I have some of his aliens in there, and he sent a pair of specials to try out on the Boxer Max Squonker, which I don't have batteries in, so I'm not going to pretend I'm vaping on it. But the 30T, Samsung 30T 21700's charging, and I'm going to try some coils that I'm not going to tell you the resistance of in it on the 30T to see what some of the limits are.
Oh, shit.
And then I really shouldn't show this because I haven't even got the coil head back. I actually did put the coil head into it. It's not all primed up and set up, but the Oceanus, which I really like. And with the Scion tank, it's just really comfortable. A little tall with the Scion tank for me. I usually like squatter things, but it's just so nice and comfortable to hold. But the only one I'm really working today, until I get my act back together again today, is the Goon on the Dominican.
What kind of batteries are you using? In your mini?
Only the best. The 150,000 mAh 200 amp ultrafires, because Ultrafire sends the best checks on the planet. And if you're going to sell out, you got to sell out big.
Hell yeah.
VTC 5As.
See, that's kind of a thing with you. Everybody else wants to see, well, hey, what are they vaping on? But when it comes to you, it's like, okay, well, let me see what he's vaping on, but let me see what the fuck's in the damn battery compartment there. That's what we want to know.
He should start doing like battery buffets. Batteries.
Yeah. I think the best part would be that I need to get a box mod with like 8 batteries in it, and all of them are different.
Oh yeah.
Just to have some strokes.
Oh shit. What's up, Mike?
Mr. Mike.
Hey everybody.
What's happening, baby?
What's going on? What's up, everyone?
Mr. Bachelor Mike.
How's the divorce?
Hashtag bachelor life. No divorce.
Yeah. Mr. Hashtag, I almost survived the weekend, but the hospital was nearby.
Yep.
What's
up,
the
guys?
What's the buffet, brother? I know it's not going to be big this morning. It's always.
No, it's pretty big.
Oh shit! Well, take it away, brother.
Uh-oh,
That's what she
somebody
said.
got some toys.
That's what she said. I'm vaping on the Boxer 21700 in there with the D Pro RDA. And what am I vaping in there? I think I got some RKOI coil spill. That's what's in that one. Vaping on that. I'm also vaping on the Charon with the Reload RTA. In there, I'm vaping on some Drip Witch. Some Drippy Witch. Also vaping on the Bellis version 2 RTA on the Smoke Pro Color. And there I am vaping on some Looking Glass. And am I vaping anything else? Let's see. Oh yeah, this one here. The Flow Sub-Ohm Tank on the Smoke O Sub King. I think that's what it's called. O Sub King, yeah.
That's a good looking
in there,
carrot.
yeah. Well, I don't remember what's in here. Well, I think this might be the first time I'm stumped on what juice I have in my tank. I think it's Drip Witch. I'm not sure. I don't know what I have in there. But anyway, that's it. Take it away, ST.
I love when folks get stumped on here, but
Oh, yeah.
so
Well, Mike's buffet is bigger than my entire mod collection, so that's always. I don't know how he remembers any of it.
you know what? I wanted to ask this question, but I'm glad that you've brought this up. So I've noticed that the 21700s have come into circulation on IMR, the Samsung. So right off the bat, have you had time to even mess with these yet, or do you know anything to say about them?
Yeah, I looked at the data sheets, and for lousy cycle life, they're 9.6 amp. I think they're going to test out a 7 or 8 amp batteries, but 4800 mAh, holy crap! I don't think there are any dual 21700s regulated, but that's what they're going to be made for: 50, 60 watt vaping in a dual.
A lot of people actually went out and jumped the gun and bought the batteries.
They had people were putting up that they were 35 amp batteries, and I put up a post about this last week, going, whoa. That it's in the data sheet. There is a 3 and a 5 with an A after it in the data sheet, but when you look at what they're talking about, and you essentially read the whole data sheet, you realize that is a one-time capability used to size the protection electronics that are supposed to go in the battery pack. It has nothing to do with the battery's capabilities. It was like a 1.4 volt drop. You're running at like 2.8 volts at 35 amps. So it's useless. You can't use that as a spec. And if you look at 9.6 amps, it says not for cycle life, meaning it's not going to last long if you call it a 10 amp battery, which everyone will, and then use it like a 20 amp battery. No, this is a 20 watt, 30 watt battery. If you're pushing it, 50, 60 watts in dual 21700 regulated. That's what I'm going to kind of call that one. Think of it as the MJ1 or the Samsung 35E equivalent. Those are batteries the mouth elongers might be more familiar with, as something when you're down at very low power levels. This is just a much higher capacity version of it. And we got to wait for the 30T if it ever becomes available. And there's 2 other 21700s imminent. Not the Samsung 30T, unfortunately, but others coming out. And it looks like they're going to be somewhere in the middle. Maybe at or above the IJoys and eFest, but below the Samsung 30T.
Right. I got a feeling that a lot of I know a lot of people already bought the batteries. I had people message me, Mike, I just jumped on it. I just saw they just released the Samsung batteries. I'm like, no. People are buying them. It's already happening, and I already foresee people going to use them on mechs or whatever. And yeah, but do you think that the rewrappers out of China are going to rewrap those batteries and market them? Yeah, it's a good view.
See, that's my worry, because they did that with the 2700s with AWT. their 2700 was the Sanyo B cell, which is what, 15, 16 amps, which, you know, you can actually pulse at a decent level. It'll just perform like crap.
It's funny.
But it is a genuine 15, 16 amp
Say
battery.
that. It's funny you say that because in Miami, at the convention I was there, Sense has a new mod coming out. They got two new mods. One's a dual 18650, the other one's a dual 2700. And inside the dual 2700s, they had those batteries. The red ones, the AWT 2700.
Okay.
And those, I looked at them like, no way these stats are correct on those.
They call them 40 amps.
Yeah.
That was my first do not buy in the history of my testing. It said, look, here's the real rating, and don't buy it, because if you run it at 40 amps and there's a misfire or an accidental button press, it could vent on you. Not thermal runaway, but it could vent. It was like 122 degrees Celsius or something. I mean, crazy, frack hot. So I gave it a do not buy just because it's preposterous. They're lies. Alibaba, every entry in Alibaba for that battery had a different rating for it. 25 amp, 40 amp, 30 amp, 15 amp. One of them said NCR, you know, 2700B up on top. So I knew it was the rewrap.
Yep.
And then when I got them, I'm like, this bullshit. Don't, no, we have other options. Don't even think about buying this AWT.
Yep.
Have you
get the IJoy?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Or the others. I was saying, get the IJoy, EBAT, eFest, Amp King, all the same cell. Great, you know, until the Samsung 30T or something better comes along.
A question for you, Mooch. Are those batteries that you just named, they're all obviously rewraps?
Yeah. No. It's either a Panasonic or a Mali cell out of Canada.
Okay, out of Canada, because I haven't seen the actual whose battery it is wrapper available.
We're still trying to find out. Around now, I was supposed to be getting samples of the Mali cell, which would at least tell us whether it's that. If it's not that, it's probably the Panasonic. That 5-leg top contact is classic for like a Sanyo or a Panasonic, but the Mali cell has some confusing, you know, diagrams inside. One of them, way down in the data sheet, shows a 5-pronger, but the quote official diagram up at the front shows a 4-pronger. But I've been told Panasonic by 2 companies who I would trust to say if it was a Panasonic or not, but other people have been told Mali cell. So right now, but until I ideally get the Panasonic, if it's ever existing now, the one that's coming out of the Tesla Gigafactory, and the Mali cell, we just don't know. But at least we got 4 companies, you know, rewrapping it, and they all seem to be using about the same grade cell or close in grades. There's only 1 or 2% difference.
Right, which could
in
be
all those cells.
Could be whether it's an A bin or B bin. Is that what it's considered?
Yeah. There's only maybe 2% difference in my experience, I think, between an A and B. It may be on the border of noticeable. Like some people who have a religious everyday kind of thing and might notice a 2% drop in power. But when you think of it, if someone hands you a mod and says it's 100 watts, could you tell them if it was 98 or 102 or 100? Yeah, maybe 98 to 102, but 100 to 102, 100 to 98, probably not. So, you know, and I've tested maybe 24 total cells in those 4 companies. There's only like a 2% window. So maybe there is mixing, but if there is, we don't have to worry about it. Even, you know, the companies we're not familiar with, like EBAT or AmpKing until recently, but that's Innikens, and I would trust them to be at least consistent on what they pick.
Right. I have one more quick question for you. The Samsung's, the one that you have that one battery that you have, the T, is it called?
Yeah, the 30T.
The 30T. Any info on when these will hit the market?
They're out. They're being sold by the tens or hundreds of thousands. I think there's only one client though, and that client really wants them. So none of them are appearing on the secondary market. A lot of times a client will buy, well, we get them, except for some of the vendors who maybe can order directly from the manufacturers. But 99% of the vendors who say they get it from the manufacturers don't, because they're vaping vendors. LG is going to sell to a vaping vendor when the cigarette says no,
right,
not for use with e-cigarettes. No, not going to happen.
How about companies like IMR?
Well, that's it. I don't know. I don't ask. They may be able to get direct. If not, they'll buy from a hell of a, you know, just maybe one step off. But a lot of the batteries we get will be like Ryobi order 100,000 for the power tools, use 90,000 run. Now they want to switch to a different tool with a different cell for that assembly line. So they've got 10,000 cells. They're not going to store them. They'll auction them off or sell them off. And then that funnels its way down to us through 4 or 5 different stops over 6 months to a year or something like that.
So personally, you don't think we're going to see these Samsung 30Ts, right?
I really thought, based on what a couple of people told me, around now is when they're supposed to start to appear. The 2700As have showed up at 2 distributors, though. I haven't seen any vendors pick them up, but I ordered samples from one of the 2 distributors, and the genuine grade A Sanyo NCR 2700As. So if they're in the hands of 2 distributors, hopefully that means soon the Samsung 30Ts will start to follow and, you know, start filtering out and getting to us, because that's about the sequence. The A's came out, then the 30Ts came out. Now the A's are back again. Hopefully that means the T's are back in. We had this with the VTC 5A. We had, you know, they kind of poked up and appeared, and there's nothing to find for 4 or 5 months. And now, you know, 5As are everywhere. That's going to happen, unfortunately, with any new battery. I just wish we had other good 21700s, because mod makers, they need a good 21700 to be able to go, all right, we can make a mod now, and we'll just wait for the 30Ts. But
you got
so
the
far,
IJoy
nothing
ones yet, or no? The IJoy 21700s?
The thing, working on that.
Okay.
Working on that. Nothing to report for. There's next question.
Well,
Yes, next question on that.
the Sanyo 2700As. So you're predicting that we're going to be seeing those again pretty soon, or you don't really have a clue yet?
Well, I was able to get samples from one distributor, and hopefully they're finding vendors. I've been kind of spreading the word out, and it starts coming out. Hopefully, you know, it wasn't a fluke. They just got hold of a couple hundred cells. So I'm hoping. But so much of what I'm told isn't true, and all the rest of it, they'll just go, we're not going to tell you, and which I perfectly understand. They should not tell me. It's just nice if one of them does.
Well, because I'll be honest, I've only got 2 sets. I've got a set of the IJoys and I have a set of the E-Fest. And basically they're performing the same. And it was even, I contacted you if it was all right to get the E-Fest, and you said, sure. I've actually enjoyed using them, but if the A's are better than both, I really want to get my hands on some, but it's like, shit, you know, if I don't know when they're coming out. Well,
if you're good at rust removal, I hear Ryan's got a few.
Oh my God, I can't believe he destroyed those.
I know.
The most valuable batteries in the vaping community.
Yep.
Brian, I'm sorry, but actually a couple of them look like they would be okay. Rewrapped, you just mildly alcohol cloth just to see what can come off if it's not badly pitted or anything underneath. You know, then they're probably just fine, but certainly a rewrap, at least to check, because, you know, it is a steel can and you don't want it bubbling up or anything around the seal. That would be bad, but everywhere else it's not too bad. I mean, the 2700As, the Sanyos, are better than VTC 5As. They hit harder than VTC 5As, and you know, the 30 amp rated, they're true. What are they? I haven't touched them in so long. 3000 mAh, but they hit harder than a VTC 5A. I mean, they're 31. Really nice cells. 31. So they're really, really nice cells.
You're saying 30, those are 30 amp. How about the IJoy 2700s? What ampage did you get out of those?
30.
Okay.
But they don't hit as hard. They don't hit as hard. The E-Fest, EBAT, M-King, IJoy, 30 amp 3000 mAh. And think of the perfect example. The IJoy and related 2700s are sort of the HG2 VTC 630Qs. Good, moderate power, you know, they got lots of mAh and everything. The 2700, the NCR 2700A, the Sanyo, that's kind of the VTC 5A, but with 3000 mAh. You know, both of them could have the same 30 amp rating, but the Sanyos are just going to hit that much harder, like really, really noticeably harder. When I put them in the Boxer, I mean, when I use the Samsung 30T, I'm really happy with a 0.17 coil, which I'm never in a single battery mech. I'm never happy with the heat I get with a 0.17 coil. Heats up to like 0.21 or something like that. With the NCR 2700A from Sanyo, it's like, okay, that's not too bad. With the Samsung 30T, I'm like, oh yeah, ouch.
Yeah.
That's how much harder these cells hit. And you don't think it matters that much until you get one that really makes a difference in how hard it hits. And of course, I'm talking about cells that no one else can get. So I have to stop before the hate mail starts.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've gotten a lot of that this past week.
I think Brian's going to send those rusty batteries to Mark because Mark doesn't give a damn. He'll use anything he can get his hands on. So
I'll use them. What the hell? I'll take some. I'll take a steel wool pad and just.
I got that new sample, but all the rest of them I had were damaged. So lucky that sample from the distributor turned out to be genuine. But I can use more than 2. That's for sure.
Rusty batteries.
Yep. I got lucky actually. I got 4 of those Sanyo batteries.
I keep ruining all the ones that I have that are good. I keep forgetting I need them to vape with them sometimes. The ones that I buy, I end up using for testing. It's like, oh, I'll just do this one test. And then you get into it, and 6 tests later, it's sitting there with the wrap all split and peeled at 120 degrees Celsius. And you're like, oh, that was a good test. Oh, frack me. That was my own battery.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But I noticed the difference over the weekend because I was using the Archon Swanker and the Boxer Swanker with me, and
an Archon.
I had brought with me a IJoy battery. I bought Amp King, I bought the EBAT, and I bought the Sanyo. So I had all 4 of the ones that I have, 2700s, and just switching around the batteries as vaping during the day. And I noticed when I had the Sanyos in it, you could just feel it hitting better.
That's a great way to do those kind of tests. And if you had the 30T, do that same thing with your Boxer when you get the 30T, and you'll just be. I'm sorry, the Samsung 30T when that comes out. I don't have
that again. Yeah.
No. I'm saying when it comes out.
Oh, when it comes out, yeah.
Do that same test. IJoy, Sanyo A, and 30T, and you just. I was just like giggling. I was just laughing. I'm like, oh my god, because you just don't think it'll make that big a difference. And
I'll tell you. I tell you something, even though we're not really allowed to talk about it, that other battery, well,
if you got that other battery at a show, then...
Yeah, I have the 2700 IJoy. I'm not really allowed to talk about it too much, but I did notice...
21700 IJoy.
Yeah, 21700 IJoy. I did notice. Okay. I went, at least 5 hours vaping that battery.
Damn.
And it was still hitting.
If it existed.
If it existed, yeah.
If it existed, it's a pretty high capacity battery.
IJoy's got a 21700 mod coming out too. I don't know if it's a mech mod or regulated, but
regulated.
It's regulated.
Single or dual?
Single,
yeah.
They have single.
The triple RDTA box.
It's 100 watt. That single one.
Oh, is it? Nice.
It looks like the Alien, the Smoke Alien, the one that's the AL 85 watt one. Remember that Alien 85 watt? Look like almost like the Pico style or the Alien.
It had. I think I remember what it looked like.
I have it actually. I think I have it here. It looks.
I mean, can you imagine now with these 21700s? Okay, yeah.
It looks like this, but for 21700.
Damn.
It's a 100 watt device. It's pretty nice. I saw it at the show. Real nice.
And we're starting to bump up into the 9600 mile range with a pair of the 48Gs, 21700s. 50, 60 watts. But if you have an 80 watt, 90 watt device, even 100. Still, and you put a 0.4, 0.5 or something in there, 50, 60 watts. It's not what a lot of people are going to want to do as an all-day vape, but if you want a stealthier vape or for something, or just, jumping out or something like that, or hell, a weekend of camping, and you've got 9600 mile with a pair of, 21700s, there's still a use for that 48G, but not, I think, what a lot of people want it to be. I think a lot of people are going to buy it because they think they see that 35 amp pulse rating, or they just want to try 21700 because they've been waiting so long for the Samsung.
Yeah, but I see where a lot of people, including myself, I use them. Like for example, the Sony VTC6s, or like the Brownies, or the 30Qs. Those are all like around the same ampage. They're what, like around 18 amp batteries, or 15,
20,
18?
yeah, 18 to 20 amp, yeah.
They're around there. So those batteries are basically what the what do you call it? The 2700s, the Bs, that you would get those high mAh but lower ampage. Basically that's what they are, right?
Yeah, that classic trade-off there. With the Samsung 30T would be like a VTC 5 or VTC 4 with hard hitting but lower mAh.
So I see people using those. Like I have a pair of the Sanyo B batteries. I think they're like what are they, 4200 mAh? I can't remember exactly what they are.
Yeah,
each battery.
Like the rated capacity was like 4050 or 4000 or something. But typically you'll get like 41 or 42 out of it.
Right. So something like that is good, like to where you would put two of those inside like a regular box mod, and if you're vaping only 2 coil at like 80 watts, you're gonna be fine.
You got 2 days. Yeah. You got
a lot of battery life.
Day and a half, 2 days, something you can get out of that. And it's a real potential in there. And then there'll be the maniacs, the triple 21700 regulated mods, I'm sure, for the holidays or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be ridiculous.
The new the Kanger 810 mod or something.
So today is like the VTC 5A still like pretty much the all go to 18650.
Yeah, they're my all around. They're if I've got 19 of the same question, I get and it's just sometimes you want to step them through what's the best battery. Well, it depends on your priorities and your wattage. A lot of times I'll just type in VTC 5A 19 times because it is just it's the hardest. It's just about the hardest hitting one. The Aspire changed their cell, so I'm doing a retesting soon. So I'm sticking with the VTC 5A. It's number 1 and number 2, and if it's number 2, it's by a tiny fraction. Hardest hitting one that's out there. True 2500 mAh. Cycle life here, how well it holds up to some abuse. It's been pretty good, but hopefully this autumn I'll be doing that formally. Like I did with the 3000 mAh batteries. Let's mess these things up and see what survives. Because like the VTC 6 was a slightly better performer over the 30Q, but the 30Q was much better when you really start abusing it. It's the one I recommend now for the 3000 mAh batteries. But yeah, VTC 5A, that's a great for everything, for even regulated. People think it's a mech battery. It's a fantastic.
Oh, I use it
using the 25R. Yeah, if you use it the 25R, get the VTC 5A because it hits harder. That means the voltage rides higher. So yeah, they both end at the same point, but where the 25R comes down like this, the VTC 5A will hold its voltage and then plunge at the end. So it actually lasts longer before it drops to like 3.2 volts in your regulated mod and the mod shuts off. So even though they're both 25R and VTC 5A are 2500 mAh, the 5A will last longer because it holds its voltage up higher until it hits your mod cutoff point. So it's just an all-around better battery.
It's so true, because right now I have I got some regulated here where I'm using. I have 25Rs and VTC 5As, and I notice the difference.
Okay.
On them, like I'll use the 25Rs in this device, and then I'll take them out to charge them, and I'll throw the 5As, and I notice the difference on the battery life with the 5As.
And if they cost a couple dollars more, which I think they still do, than like 25Rs or something, that $2 disappears over the year and a half you'll have the battery, where every single day you can enjoy that better performance. So like for me, prices, if they were $20 each, well, okay, I'd complain when I buy them, but then I'd be happy I did buy them because they were lasting a year and a half and I was getting all that great performance. And I could move between mech and regulated, because the difference between the VTC 5A at higher regulated power levels and the 3000 mAh batteries like the 30Q is very small. You're not getting that much more. You think, 500 mAh more. but they don't hit nearly as hard. They're not nearly as efficient as the 5A. So the 5A catches up even on a 3,000 watt battery. If you're up at the decently high power ranges, 60, 70 watts of battery or something.
So the VTC 5A, okay, we say that's the dominant 18650. What's the next one right after it?
VTC 4 is still up there, but you pay a penalty. I'd say probably then, in terms of more all-around use, the 30Q. It's not a hard hitter for use in a mech, but it's not an awful hitter either. A lot of people use it in X. Boy, I'd say it's almost, if you want just harder hitting than the VTC 4 and you'll pay the price, the LG HB series, the true 30 amp 18650s, they just don't hit that hard. But it's your only option if you're up at like 40 or 50 amps or something like that to keep the battery from melting. So, you're backed into a corner to use the HBs. If you don't need that, then VTC 4. Otherwise, maybe the 30Qs would be enough. They all start, you got the VTC 5A, and then you've got like a dozen batteries all kind of crowded around each other below it. Each one 5%, 3% here or there. It's not too much of a difference, like the HD 2C, VTC 4, HD 4.
VTC 5.
Still a good battery. About the same as the 25R. And below those, HE2 and HE4, like the home work cell is an HE2. There's just no reason. I don't want to diss a battery, but this, in terms of performance, there's no reason to buy HE2 or HE2 equivalents now, because we've got, even the 4 is better, but we got the 25R, VTC 5, VTC 4, VTC 5A, 30Qs, VTC 6 is down here in terms of harder hitting and stuff like that.
Right.
Mark, what are you showing off? Even though you're muted.
I just got this Smoant Chiron TS touchscreen. Looks pretty cool.
Dude, it's a nice looking device. I don't really like touchscreens, but I don't know. There's something about that one that looks real nice.
Yeah, this one is nice. Pretty nice looking.
Cool.
Oh, there we go. I was locked on mic and I didn't know it. I have a love-hate with that one. I think if it was thinner, I would really love it. It's just, because
earthy.
That to have it frustrates me when like the silver part is one dimension, and you think you could put something much bigger on it, but then like it hangs over the silver, but it doesn't hang over the device. I mean, they've got the ring comes out a little bit.
Yeah.
With so many devices, they round it off so much up there.
I wonder, that's got to be 25.
Here's a 25.
Yeah, so it's 25. Ooh, does that gap?
Okay.
Ooh, there's a gap on that joke.
Let's see.
You could whistle through that.
That's the Kennedy.
Yeah,
Kennedy 510.
That fits perfectly. Okay.
Looks
But
like
you
a
know what?
fat-ass cell phone.
Yeah, really. It looks like a power bank, actually,
Interesting.
but like a fatter one. I'm still in love with the Karen Sharon Haron.
Sharon.
The looks on that one. Probably, I just don't have the money to buy anything else now, but still liking the looks on that one. All black, with like the new, something in a matte black. Added.
Which one? Oh, you're talking about the 218, the Chiron, right?
Yeah, the 218. Yeah,
Yeah,
still like the looks on it.
I love both of my Chirons. I mean, I like that body style. I love the Therion.
Right.
It's
Yeah, when I grow up, I'm gonna buy one of those.
So we got a Peerless RDTA, huh?
Yep.
Oh, that's the one with like more slots and holes than.
You
The
see
Mark
that?
back hookers.
You see that? You could close off and make it a single coil by pulling those notches in, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
Let me try to close them up.
What? Is that the anti-vacuum lock small hole that I see on the deck too?
It's what it looks like, yeah.
That's a great idea, because now you don't have to do that stupid poking something down into your cotton to kind of pull it to the side.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a full review from someone today on these products.
Here we go.
Yep.
Full review, guys. Just keep a lookout.
All right. Well, let's do this here. Let's change gears. because I want to get Mooch's side of this because he's also been involved. There's been a lot of talk lately about a particular cotton maker.
Here we go.
And
no.
Mooch has had a little bit of dealing with this. You would think, why Mooch? He deals with batteries, but
I'm a battery tester. Even all of China says I'm a battery tester. Don't get me involved in this crap.
Well, let's get the quick version of what you got going on with this right now.
Oh, by the way, before this, Angle Rabbit's coming out with batteries, just to let you know.
Actually, Angle Rabbit is my new sponsor. They're my new sponsor now for the Ultrafire has a 100,000 mile battery. Angle Rabbit's coming out with a 200,000 mile one. So I had to take the check.
Yep.
Well,
hold on. Now you're going to get 1,000 emails going. Really? When's that happening?
That and never, ever. I learned this the hard way about a year ago or something like that. Never, ever even joke about coming out with Mooch batteries. It took weeks to stomp that down. Just joking about it. And I'm never going to be in the battery business. Oh, that's a brutal, nasty.
What?
No
Why
way.
not? Just make some battery wraps that say Mooch and rewrap batteries.
That would be it. That would be it. And I was going to do that until I realized that someone in China would release Mooch batteries with a copy of my wraps, and everyone would buy them thinking they were my batteries.
Just talking about this now, they're going to release Mooch batteries.
Right. Yeah, tomorrow or this weekend. And even the worst part, I'll be part of a mass mailing asking me if I'd like to, get samples and review the Mooch batteries or something. Because Mooch, we work with Mooch. Do you want to review these? And I'll get that email.
Oh my God! You want to hear a funny story that you're saying that? I actually got an email to review the Icon RDA.
You should have done, and you should have ripped it to pieces.
I was like, oh my God.
Just put it up like you're totally serious and do the whole thing with a straight face and just say, this is the biggest piece of ever hoisted upon the vaping community.
Oh yeah.
So what happened with the cotton? Did I miss something?
Well, there were a couple updates. One, they came out with the kind of the slideshow, the scrolling slideshow of their fields.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And what they claimed the fields. Then they had another cropped off at the top and bottom of every image, so you really can't see all the documents, what the regulatory documents were supposed to be. And they showed a different company that medical cotton, something to it. I have to find someone who can read the Chinese, because it's not clear enough for the Google scanning and translating. It just goes, we have no idea what that is. Just to look at the documents and see if they are. But it's interesting. They included one document from the German, I believe it's Germany, TUV. It's sort of like the Underwriters Laboratories, but for Germany and the EU. But they never claimed compliance with them. But then they showed a document for them. But it wasn't for them. It was for a different company, which may be their company, but under a different name, that medical cotton company. So right now, I don't know. Maybe I don't think you can say, hey, the company we work with or we partner with or own us or who we own has FDA approval for something, or it's FDA registered, so we can take that same cotton, if it is even the same cotton, put it in another package and sell it. I think every SKU number has to be filed for, but I could be totally wrong on that. But I don't, people have been talking about it. A lot of people like the cotton itself. I haven't tried it. It doesn't smell. It's clean, really clean compared to the unbleached pads. Pure white. Looks like there's one or two different short lengths there. The wicking, just the test for me, didn't work out too well. But a lot of people seem to like it, and I have nothing against the cotton. I haven't vaped with it. My issues were, with the IP theft, the lies, the false compliance claims and stuff like that. And a lot of people are really pissed off about what I said. And it's like, I'm not even talking about the cotton.
It seems people either love it, like I've seen good reviews and I've seen really bad reviews.
I think a lot of people misunderstand the burn resistance claims. And so they light it on fire, where I think a lot of it was just a bad translation from the Chinese. and the fact that they didn't bother to spend $50 just to write out clearly, what this is and what we'd like reviewers to do. I think it's just resistance to burnt taste if it does get a little bit scorched.
Right.
It'll go up in flames just like,
but to do that
cotton.
To do that with cotton, though, they are adding some sort of chemical.
I mean, know. You can do it.
Well,
you can do if you take out the oil. Yeah, but if you take out the oils and all the impurities, maybe that's the stuff that tastes really bad when it's burnt, like our unbleached cotton. Maybe it's those things that taste bad when it burns. So if you remove those, maybe you're removing the stuff that has the worst taste if it does get burned. So it'll get torched, but it won't have that unbelievable flavor, which means, oh crap, I have to re-wick kind of thing. It's like, no, wait, I can make it through this until that taste goes away. I'm wondering, it makes me want to try that cotton a lot just to see, but I'm like, no, I got batteries to test. Like, I'm a battery tester.
Well, look, it's for me personally, after I used it in a video once, and after I did the video, I didn't do like a video for their cotton. I just used it in wicking in one of the RDA reviews. I can't remember what it was that I reviewed. I think it was the one from Armageddon. But anyway, after I did the video, uploaded it, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute. If this is not supposed to leave a burning taste or whatever, are they adding something to it? And I don't know what they're doing, whatever. But for me personally, I don't want to inhale it because I don't know exactly what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's it. We just don't know. Yeah, and when you think about it, we don't know about any of our cotton. And it kind of, I'm hoping this turns into, at least for a little while, the community kind of goes, well, let me send an email to this other cotton, vaping cotton manufacturer, or let me send this, and it would cost thousands and thousands of dollars to do test, to take samples, of the cotton we use and get them tested for heavy metals, pesticides, bacteria count, something you might do for medical cotton. One person quoted for UK, he worked for a UK firm or something. It was something like 800 euros to do one sample of cotton, complete testing. And if you got 10 brands of cotton, you need multiple samples over a long period of time because you may want 2 different crops. You want to make sure you're getting all the different parts of the fields or something. It could be $20,000 by the time you're done, just to find out if those batches of cotton had anything in them. So I think we're going to have to leave our trust in the companies and just pick what we like and decide if we want to make a statement on what's on the outside of the package.
Let me ask this question. Do you think that if they would have just left out all the claims about, hey, the cotton will do this and the cotton will do that, and yada, 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 if they would have just started marketing to say, hey, here's a new cotton, do you think it would have been taken by the public better and they just would have said, oh, okay, here's another option to use and leave it at that?
It wouldn't have got no publicity.
I think if they priced it $1 cheaper, it would have sold like crazy. But the word would have to get out somehow. But they sent samples to everybody. I think all those reviews are out there that were pretty positive. If they didn't mention the burn resistance, I think a lot of those reviews would have been pretty positive about it. Now, there've been some wicking tests, later on. DJ LSB Vapes and Daniel and Phil P. Pizarro did some, and the wicking did not go well. But most people report, but when vaping, it wicks well enough to not be an issue.
Yeah.
$1 cheaper or 50 cents cheaper or something, and with all that everyone testing, I think they would have done really well, which is the irony of all this, which boggles my mind. The only reason it came to my attention is because I saw the outrageously false compliance claims, regulatory compliance claims, FCC and for electronics, ROHS for electronics.
Yeah.
If they left that off,
well,
it would never come to my attention.
I know a big issue too with a lot of this was apparently, I guess, where it's marketed overseas, the rabbit that they're using on the packaging is completely different, and
it's Bugs Bunny, and it says "Made in USA."
Yeah. So again, it's going to pull in.
Maybe that's a counterfeit Ango rabbit. Someone was saying that. I don't know. But it exists.
Yeah.
So and also, like the pictures Ango Rabbit uses on Facebook, and Instagram, those are stock pictures from the cotton harvest from 2016 from a Chinese news websites.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe they do have fields. Maybe they do have medical cotton. It's just so many other things where it makes you go, oh, damn it, why? Okay, you know, I'm going to use a different cotton, because we have a lot of choices. For this one, we don't have to compromise anything because it's an absolutely superior cotton on the inside of the bag.
Well, I know
some people might go, yeah, I'm doing anyway.
Yeah. Well, I know for definite, me and Mark are no scientists by any mean, but, you know, I did the show last Saturday night, and we got on that topic, and Mark did a few little on-air type, you know, by doing dry burns with it on a coil, no juice at all. And, I mean, as soon as he'd hit the button, bam, it went up just like that.
Yeah, the whole thing just whoosh, just went up in flames, where regular cotton, it just kind of burned in the center, like real slow.
Yeah.
I think when I pulled it apart, it had really, really short fibers, which I think might interfere. It's almost looks like, and one of the regulatory compliance things they had for the medical cotton was cotton lint. And it kind of looks like the short fibered lint, like the kind of thing that would fly around. You know, they dump all the cotton into this big room, and they just fluff it around with compressed air to mix all the bales together so you get consistent cotton throughout production. Now, there's got to be an awful lot of lint there. And it looks like that short fibered lint just cleaned, however they do it, I don't know, incredibly well. So maybe that incendiary nature is because it is so short and may not be chemicals. But again, like Mike was saying, we don't know. We don't know about any of our cotton.
Yeah.
But, you know, for this one, we don't know. And for me, if we don't know, and they claim this, and there may be a Bugs Bunny and Made USA claim, and they're using stock pictures and saying it's, you know, like all these things.
Makes you think, you know, if they might be lying about other things too.
I didn't like working with it because of the short fibers, like, and plus I noticed, like, I don't know, like you wipe it, you run it across your nose or something like that, and you could feel like little fibers stuck everywhere.
I know, like the Dominican, the V2 with, you know, anything with a slightly rubbery. After using the Angle Rabbit, you know, you got that, like you put it in your pocket or something, and it comes up, especially all the corn, it comes up with it, you know, and I think that's the shorter fiber nature of it.
Could you possibly inhale that? I'm wondering, you know, like if you're vaping on it, a few, maybe tiny little particles.
I think it's huge compared for what it needs to be to get deep in the lung. And I think once it's wet, I mean, if you're huffing, you know,
like Brian, like, you know.
Yeah, or you know, eating 6 bags of cotton, you know, that's instantly fatal. Never put 6 bags of Angle Rabbit cotton in your mouth. It's fatal. Sorry, Ronnie. I had to. I just feel inadequate as a man after seeing you put 6 bags in your mouth.
He was claiming that he smells
smarter, but I feel inadequate.
He was claiming he smells acetone, whatever. I don't smell nothing in that kind. I don't know what
mine smells. I get zero smell.
I think it might be the bag or something, because I didn't notice anything.
Or there was something early on, you know, like 100 bags out of the early batch had a manufacturing defect in the bag, or something making the bag wasn't cured properly or something in the plastic and left an odor or something like that. I don't know. I mean, that's what's so hard when you get these conflicting reports. Like you guys deal with it all the time, coil heads or something. You know, if they have a good run of coil heads than a bad one, that's really bad for you guys, because you could report on the good coil heads and then the shit ones hit the market, or the other way around. And then you got everyone yelling at each other because half of them do have bad ones and half of them do have good ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
When's the I mean, we've talked about this off and on for a good while. It's been almost a full year since you've been on the show, because last time you were on, we were just about getting ready to go to Heavy's event. And here we are again, about to do it again.
It's been that long? Wow.
Yeah. And we talked.
I'll get the mumble and grumble when I see the videos.
We talked a little bit, and your YouTube channel, were you ever gonna You're about the only person I know that has what?
Look at the time, ST. God damn it! Wow, look at the time. I just, I got
Hey,
shit
you're
I
about the
need
only
to
person
do.
I know that has like.
I got places to go. Baby, get naked. We're having sex.
Hey, you're about the only one person I know that has like 2,000 subs without one video up.
I knew you're gonna bring that shit up. It's everyone needs a dream, and so look at all the people who finally achieve their dream, and then they're just let down because there's nothing left in life to do. No one's buying it. Okay, I'll try the truth instead. It's time. It's when you're already overextended. Even the tiniest things just get you really angry, or they can ruin your day, or they're making you just goddamn it. Like Mark, you were just talking about ODing on YouTube. It comes in waves. Like 3 weeks, I'll get unbelievable stuff done. Then I'm like, I never want to see. I just want to walk and sit in the park and vape. I never want to see YouTube or test batteries or anything. You just overdose on it. And being in business myself since '92, formally, and then casually since '86, I've learned how to ride that point of going, oh no, never more, forget it. But sometimes things are out of control and it sends you over. And I just don't. I want to do the YouTube channel. I've got almost 100 topics now written down, and I think it would really help with a lot of things. Some things just lend themselves much better to a 10-minute talk rather than a page is something that so many people aren't going to read. I mean, I've got, the janky 500 watt light bulb back there. I even upgraded the tablet. It's got an HD camera now. This one's the SD because of some technical difficulties went to the old tablet. But I'm about where I was last year. It's coming up soon, I sure hope. But a lot of it too is, if I do it, I want to commit. And I don't want to do one and go, I have no time for another month to do that. It's something I'd love to bang out twice a week. Once a week, I'd love to do a live Q&A, though I don't think there's a single slot available any day of the week. And things where I think I'd really help the community. To do that, I think, though, I need to go full-time into what I do for the community.
Yeah.
And that means I lose all my income. And right now I don't have, there's a dreaded P word. I talked about that before on another show, Patreon. I was going to charge for charger testing. There's a perverse logic in there somewhere. Going, look, I'm not going to test anyone's charger unless everybody pays for it. If they, that way there's no bias here or there. If they never hire me again, who cares? My reputation's worth 150,000 times what I can get for testing one charger. To give that up, no way. And if they don't like my charger review, screw them. Who cares if they never hire me again? But I don't know if I can do this full time. I don't know if how do you switch over?
Yeah.
And then YouTube, dive in head first. I can farm out my day job to my subcontractors and make 10% back. That'll pay for groceries and stuff like that. And then, but how do I find a way to pay the rest of the bills living here in New York City? Otherwise, I get a lot of satisfaction doing my testing for the community and being part of this community. I'd love to do it full time. Some people have made it work. Phil and Daniel and some others. You guys, for the degree you do it, and if not formally full time, it seems close, at least to me and someone from the outside.
It just sucks when you do it full time and you want to take a break. You feel like you can't take a break. If you do,
there you go.
You're going to be like, you're going to miss out on something.
Well, for guys like Mark and Mike, if they want to take off, you have to put that much more time in to have scheduled videos drop.
I don't know how Mike does that. I can fucking demand.
Yeah, you got to lose a weekend, to kind of crush in the videos there. And it's like, oh crap, I got to change T-shirts between damn videos now because everyone will be saying I wear the same T-shirt 3 days in a row. And I'm like, no, I did 19 videos in one day. You don't understand.
Like when we go to Alabama, the first thing that comes to mind is like, what am I going to do for videos for the whole week? It's like,
Well, I did that for Miami. I had filmed 2 videos, and I did one every other day. I had it scheduled, but
A lot of respect
when you come back from an event or something like that, it's like then you're behind on shit. So like yesterday, I released 2 videos yesterday, just to catch up a little bit.
Just the vape mail you guys have to deal with, and also coming from, let's say I started, I do charge for companies who want to move up the testing queue, because my testing queue now is like 10 weeks deep. So new companies, I realized normally I would just tell them no, you can't wait 10 weeks. If you have a new battery and you want free advertising from me with a review, no. I just tested batteries that the community asked me the most about, but now I've decided, no, let them pay. They get the free advertising. We may find a gem here or there, and maybe there's a transition to it. But, and if they never, if I slam the battery and never hire me again, there's another company right behind them. Who cares? But you always have to think about, well, what hit does my reputation take anyway? On that, I'm pretty proud of the reputation I have and how unbiased I've been with the testing. I want to keep that. How can I go full time but still keep that?
I've had some companies where they pay to jump the queue and they still get they get a bad review, and they still email back and asking how they can improve the product, and they'll still contact me like weeks down the road to do another video. Like
I think you guys are in a good, you're in a good situation, I think, for that, because the companies will have like an ongoing product, V1, V2, or at least release 1, release 2. For the battery companies, it's like, well, we rewrap 30 Qs and we can't rewrap something different. Maybe they come up with new wraps, put 40 amp on it instead of 60 amp kind of thing. But luckily I don't give a shit what they think about. If they want to pay me to move up the queue and they have a 60 amp Samsung 30Q, I'll rip it to shreds, say thank you, and I couldn't care less. But the community also has to understand that would be true. And I don't know if they're going to understand that would be true. I mean, for $100,000, I wouldn't give a good battery review, because the $100,000 is gone pretty quickly, and you've got nothing left after that. I was just thinking I wouldn't do it for any money, but that's a lie. I would do it for $10 million.
Yeah, if I'm going to sell out, it's going to be for a couple million.
Because then I can give $2 million. Let's say take home is $5 million. $1 million to advocacy, $1 million for I don't know how many starter kits to hand out for a couple of conventions, $1 million to friends and family, $1 million for cocaine and assorted stuff for a month in Mexico or something like that, or Majorca, and then $1 million to just to live on, invest and everything. And then in my review, I do another review and say that other review is all bullshit. I did it for the 10 million, but hey, 2 million of it went to advocacy and starter kits. And I think the community would go, yeah, okay.
Well, you could invest some of that money for cotton testing too.
There you go.
There we go. That's it. There's the perfect reason to sell out for 10 million. It's done. Companies, I've decided I will accept the $10 million. To all the companies I said no to.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, I do know this. No matter how big nor small your channel is, your name is in the vaping industry, anytime I've ever heard of somebody having questions about batteries, your name always comes up. So you are the man to go to in this business. So, and there's nobody else that I know to go to. So,
and I was hoping when I originally started, it would. This is the dreams of an engineering nerd. You'd start doing those, and people would be like, "Oh crap, this is a great thing to get involved with," and we'd have a dozen people out there doing this kind of stuff. No, everyone just kind of said, "Oh shit, someone else wants to do that? Thank God," and they've used it, which is okay. That's why I did it. I enjoy this. I enjoy the education part of it. I think there's a frustrated teacher inside of me. It just doesn't pay anything in New York State for me to even consider doing. And technically, it's interesting as hell. Everyone loves busting a company that lies to you. And I was just hoping there'd be a few more. But there's still some good testers out there. Torchy and Norbert and some others. But I seem to be the one with a little more free time, and because the equipment's up here anyway. if I take off a client's battery, I can put a something else in there, and test 2 batteries at once, and so it's worked out well. But hopefully, to go back to the other question, hopefully YouTube, I don't know, within the next few weeks. But I said that 50 weeks ago, so we'll see what happens.
So as of today, when your site goes live, you'll have Mooch batteries and Anger Rabbit cotton for sale on there.
It'll be Mooch Rabbit cotton, because it'll be a collaboration, and Ango Mooch batteries.
Yeah, you're going to get a bunch of emails today. I heard you got a site going, man. I want to get some of your batteries and shit.
And your cotton.
Yeah. Well, the batteries, instead of a wrap, I'll use cotton, and you just kind of peel it off, vape it, and when you finally get through all the cotton and you're down to bare battery, you throw away the battery.
There you go.
There it is.
So see, I know this marketing stuff. This is easy.
Hell yeah. Well, folks, we've hit that hour mark. I want to thank so much for everybody on the panel showing up. Mooch, thank you for your time. I know it's kind of hard for us.
Thank you for the invite.
Together. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I go to sleep when the sun starts coming up. That total nerd schedule. So I'm going back to sleep after this.
The only demand I'm going to have to make out of you sometime, you're going to have to show up to one of these events with us. You're never there.
Talk.
You're never there.
Yeah, it's hard to get the time and make the commitment to do that, but it's something I want to do. Pick a couple of good conferences. Is that the one? Is that what, Miami again, or
no, Foxwoods?
Shit, yeah, that's neighborhood stuff.
Yeah, we've had already.
Be there in 2 hours.
You got to show up to one of these. That's in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can be that next year. I'm hoping I can start doing a lot more financially, and commitments with work and other things have made it tough to do that too the past year. But hopefully.
Do you have a Patreon account?
Start doing that. No, I don't. Not yet.
You should make a Mooch Patreon.
It's one of the things I'm thinking of.
Should.
It's just you got to write up something good. But I don't have anything to give anybody. I can't. The only thing I can offer would be more testing services, because the Patreon money would let me farm out more of my day job to my subcontractors, which means I could do more. That's the only thing I can offer people, more testing. Like I'm not going to send out damaged batteries in a BOS.
Right.
So it would be hey, here's 150 batteries invented. Good luck, boy. So so I've had hesitations about that. There's so many expectations of vapors for, no, I give you money on Patreon. I want to know, at least I have a chance to get something back, and I can just go, nah, you just get more testing back.
Well, the Patreon shouldn't be about you giving away stuff. The Patreon's more of a appreciation for what you do. And when you come out with test results, you would put them on your Patreon before you'd advertise it to everyone else as a perk. You know what I'm saying?
I hadn't thought of that. That's it.
That's what Patreon
is. That fair? The first thing that comes to my mind, though, is that fair to the rest of the community? Like, what is the rest of the community done to deserve being told later? I know what the Patreon group would have done to be told earlier, but then you're kind of doing it at the expense of the rest of the community. And for safety, certainly for safety related or anything like that, no. Maybe there are other tests that could be done, but I'm always going to feel bad that I'm not sharing it with the greater community. Right. I think if I do Patreon, it's going to be just suggested values for vendors, a higher value suggested for manufacturer, and for everyone else, just $1 or $2 would be wonderful kind of tier, and no rewards. For manufacturers, actually, or the vendors, maybe authenticity testing or new battery testing. Maybe I can offer that. But I think for the community itself, since I would say support me, $2 a month, and I can do more testing. If we get a good chunk of the community, I can farm out a hell of a lot of my day job, maybe at the end of like 60 days or something like that, and start doing a lot of stuff that I can't do now, and not have a 10-week backlog and get into cycle life testing. Yeah, we know who hits hardest, but who's going to last 500 cycles and who's going to last 50 cycles and stuff like that. And things like, or cotton, and which mechs hit harder, and a 29 channel 4 amp charger. I don't know, whatever it ends up being. And yeah, maybe I'm just too worried about too many things, and I just have to freaking do it and find out what the community says. And you could be right.
Yeah, because Mark has got multiple GoFundMe's, and there's no sweat off his back on those. So that being said, no, just kidding, folks. Here we go.
Well, it's the Chatterbait, Patreon account he has. It's the one.
Hell yeah.
I do have a Chatterbait account, GoFundMe account.
All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. So don't forget tonight, the Vape team is back. They are back. 10 Eastern. I will let y'all know Sunday night what the new schedule will be for the show for a little while. I'm sorry if I didn't get.
Wait, I got up early for nothing? You better not be doing a later show and make me wake up early for this one.
No. Well, what happened is after today.
just teasing.
No, but my schedule does change for a little while, so I'm going to have to change
Right.
my show hours for a bit. But with all that being said, we're going to get the hell out of here. Thanks for watching. Mooch, thanks for coming on, brother, and giving us.
Thank you for the invite. It was a lot of fun.
Sir. So we will see y'all a little later. Y'all have a good day. Peace.
Bye.